Hey guys, this is Flix here doing my spoiler review for my double feature of John Wick and The Dark Phoenix. So starting with John Wick, like so many parts of this movie are just amazing to watch. There's the library scene in the beginning, which is not how you use a book, but it's how John Wick uses a book. The dogs. How many like testicle shots are there in this movie too? This movie, it's just a thrill ride the entire way through. Story, as I was talking about in my spoiler-free review, John Wick is pretty much out to save himself. Like, he's like, I want to live so I can keep Helen's memory going on. And I'm just like, write a book. Like, you're John Wick, you're supposed to be the most badass dude. And now you're afraid of dying. Like, that doesn't seem like that's something that's been a problem for him up to this point. When he was going on revenge for his dog, he didn't care if he lived or died. He was getting revenge. But this one's got that also the really cool kind of, you see the table, as it's called, the high table, where they have all of the big members that are running the organization. Now you don't see them except for the guy above the table, but you kind of get a little more of an insight as to how they're run. There's a adjudicator there, which I swear I thought she was going to get shot like 4 separate times throughout this movie, because every time she pissed off Lawrence Fishburne's character, he didn't seem like he was going to take her crap, and it seemed like he was just going to shoot her in the back. And then when they're at the hotel and they're just telling her like, no, we're not dropping our position, and John Wick's not going to kill the dude. So, and that's the thing is, for you who haven't seen, which I don't know why you're watching it if you haven't, he gets in trouble in the second movie for killing someone inside the concierge. Well, he gets an hour to get away. He kills a bunch of people along the way, and he finds the person who's above the table, and he's trying to get forgiveness for what he's done. So they make him a deal that if he kills the owner of the concierge, who's the one that let him go, he can get reinstated as an assassin, and they won't be trying to kill him, because they're after him for like 14 million at the beginning, and it goes up to 15 million. But then, like, all the people that helped him before are getting like beaten up or getting crap for it or being removed from their position. And then there's the guy, the sushi guy, who is he's the funniest character in this movie by far, where he meets up with the adjudicator, and he has this really like overdone Japanese accent at first, and then the moment he sees it, he was just like, oh, hello, what can we get for you? And then he's just like, oh, I wasn't expecting you to be here so soon. Like, just in plain normal, just like no accent, just, oh, it's you. I wasn't expecting you guys to be here so soon. And then he's the one that for the rest of the movie is helping the adjudicator get like revenge on all the people that let John go free. And he's a huge fan of John Wick, to the point where they have a giant motorcycle chase that leads to the concierge, and they both go inside the concierge where there's immunity, like you're not allowed to kill someone else. And they're just sitting by each other, and he's just like, ah, man, John Wick, I get to meet you in person. I'm such a huge fan. And you're just like, he has some problems. But no, so then, the concierge gets taken away from being a safe spot because John refuses to kill the owner of the concierge. And so the table sends in a bunch of people to kill John Wick and this guy, and they just one of the best parts of the movie is they get armed with all this stuff in this area, and it's the line from the trailer where he's like, we need guns, lots of guns, and they're in this vault that's just got so many guns all around, and they fill up a bunch of handguns and one I think it's an assault rifle and an SMG, and they go out there, and it turns out all the people that are attacking are wearing like this insane bulletproof armor. So the only way they can kill them, and the only way John's killing them, is by like opening their visors and shooting them in the face, or just shooting them in the neck underneath their armor. And so they bust back into the vault and they're just like, we need more firepower. And the guy's just sitting there goes, you're in this room of weapons, use it. So then they get armor piercing shotgun shells. And just another thing, this movie is it's so graphic. Like, I two scenes made me kind of go like, ooh. One is John's fighting a bunch of people with a knife, and he gets this knife on this guy and like puts it into his eye, and you just see it stab into the guy's eye, and it's like, well, that's a bit much. And the other one is that they're at this Russian ballet place, and one of the dancers literally peels her toe off because of how beaten it is, and you're just like, did not need to see that. Like, there are dudes in this movie that get their nards bitten by dogs to where they're like bleeding from their balls, and that is still not as graphic as the chick that pulls her toenail off. Ugh. But no, and like people lose half their heads when they get gunned in the head, and it is a fun ride, and story wise, it moves the story forward just a little, and it definitely they literally leave it on a, yeah, there's going to be another one where Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu Reeves' characters are going to team up. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the fourth one now. So, and now I'm going to shift over to the Dark Phoenix review, which, John Wick's been out for a while. Tonight was literally the premiere for Dark Phoenix. So, if you just wanted to watch my John Wick spoiler review part, now is the time to stop. So, we go into Dark Phoenix. Just a real quick synopsis of the story. There's a space mission at the very beginning of the movie where NASA has this issue where they've lost contact with the ship, and they send the X-Men up there to go get help. And, Mystique's kind of against it, where she's like, are we just helping them do everything? And Charles is just like, oh, well, it's for the betterment of humanity that we help them do these things. And they send them up into the spaceship. But it goes a little wrong where Jean gets stuck on the ship as the Phoenix Force hits it, and she absorbs all the Phoenix Force into herself because she sees it's about to hit her friend's ship, and she just sucks it all into herself. So then we kind of cut to her not having a lot of control of that power, and kind of repressed memories of the fact that she accidentally killed her mom, and her dad is still alive, even though she was told when she was 8 that he died in the same car crash that took her mom. So she's kind of pissed off at Xavier for blocking those, which, it has some callback sort of things towards The Last Stand, where Xavier, to Jean Grey, Xavier's kind of the bad guy, but later in the movie that gets resolved in a way that Last Stand never did. But so then, like, some random shape-shifting aliens who are searching for the Phoenix Force come to Earth and just take over random people. And then we cut to Jean meeting her. Well, we cut to Jean losing control of her power, Xavier realizing that, and that's when she has her repressed memories or sealed memories by Xavier unlocked of, oh, my dad's still alive. So she goes and visits her dad. And he, when his wife died, he kind of emotionally shut himself down and was kind of an asshole about his daughter and just gave her to Xavier. He was just like, I don't want her, take her, if you can do whatever, I don't care. So that kind of pisses her off, and that's like whenever she's getting the slightest bit angry, the Phoenix Force starts to come out. So the other X-Men are there to try to stop her, and she just like takes out all of them, except for Beast and Mystique and Xavier. Well, Beast is going to shoot her with a Trink dart, or a mutant suppressing dart, which, as we pretty much would have found out later, wouldn't have worked. But Xavier stops time with his, brain power of stopping everyone in a certain area, and, like, lets Mystique talk to her. Mystique goes up to her, and then, like, she loses, like, Jean loses control for a second and sends Mystique flying backwards, and she gets impaled on the parts of a house that exploded earlier. And she's dead. Just, she lived for a little longer. She tells Beast, I love you, and then dies. They have a funeral for her, and you're supposed to care. I didn't. This movie didn't give me a reason to care. You know, there's a small conversation earlier about her and Beast where she wants to leave the X-Men because she sees that Xavier's kind of getting a little egotistical about, you know, saving the world and looking good doing it pretty much. And he's taking the credit, so to speak. And Beast is like, no, Charles is fine. And then, like, right after the funeral, Beast is like, it's your fault that she's dead. She wanted to leave too, and I told her not to, but it's because of what you did with Jean. It's your fault that she's dead. And, like, Xavier's response to that is just like, I understand that you feel hurt, and I forgive you for what you said 5 minutes after I buried my foster sister, that you're blaming me for it. So then, like, Jean's running away. She goes and meets Magneto, and the army comes looking for her, and she pretty much starts losing control again. And Magneto just, like, tells her to get the hell out of his area, because he has this safe little, you know, mutant haven. And after that, you know, the X-Men start searching for her, but Hank, from that point on, pretty much goes, I want to kill Jean. You know, she killed Raven, she killed Mystique, and I want to kill her. So he goes over to Magneto, tells him that she killed Mystique, and he's just like, if you want me to find her, you know I'm going to kill her. He's like, yeah. So, like, he's like, oh yeah, no, I'll help you kill this teenage girl. And so they try to go after her, and Xavier kind of finds out about their plan, and they go after them to try to stop them. The aliens during this middle time, which the shape-shifting aliens kind of convinced Jean that, you know, she's meant to save the planet, when really their plan is to make her terraform Earth into their planet. Xavier arrives to, like, talk her out of it. She reads his memories, and it's just one of the various plot holes I have in this movie is she's supposedly read all of her dad's memories, in how he was just like, I don't want her, take her. Well, she reads Xavier's memories of the exact same thing, and it's, I don't want her, take her, she's a lost cause. Xavier's like, nobody's a lost cause. I'm going to do whatever I can to help her. And, like, then she comes back to her senses and is like, oh, I am a good person. Even though, and so she's like, oh, I don't want the Phoenix Force anymore. And the alien's like, I'll take it. So starts giving it to her and it starts killing her. Yada, yada, yada. She breaks apart from it. They get captured by the government. Government train taking them to a mutant holding facility. And then, like, on the journey, suddenly they get jumped by the aliens, like all of the aliens, all the shape-shifting aliens on the planet. And the X-Men get released and they just start wrecking them. And then Jean and Xavier kind of have a mind-to-mind chat about, you know, what it is that he brought Jean there to do. Because she, you know, she's like, oh, you brought me here for my power so you can use me. He brought her there so that she could be part of the family. She realizes that, and suddenly she has, like, complete control of the Phoenix Force and just starts wrecking all the people that are coming after her. Saves all of the X-Men, and then defeats all of the bad guys, except for the one, that the alien that she gave part of the power to. Well, they start having this fight, pretty much Jean kicking her ass, and she's like, oh, you want my power, you can take it, and it's like killing the alien, but it's like damaging the area around it that Scott stupidly walked into. And so the alien's like, well, you can't kill me without killing your friends, and, you know, your emotions make you weak. So Jean just takes her up into the sky, like, way away from the battle, and just explodes them both. And that's the end. Like, you get a little of, like, the after effects. Charles is no longer running the school. Beast is the one in charge. Xavier decided to retire. And he and Magneto meet up in Paris for a game of chess, with a little, like, the Phoenix Force flying above the Earth just far enough that you can just see it in the sky a little. Yeah, and that's the movie. That is the entirety of the key parts of the plot. And let me tell you, it's stupid. One, in Apocalypse, you had her have the Phoenix Force. Like, you had her have the Phoenix at least. And suddenly you're like, oh, yeah, no, she didn't have the Phoenix Force. Now she has the Phoenix Force. Now she can use her powers like that. But, I don't know, and her killing of Mystique was just a completely emotionless part of that movie. Where I was like, You know, you figured someone was going to die. They showed a funeral during the thing. Didn't see Jennifer Lawrence in it that much. Okay. And it's 2 movies ago if Jennifer Lawrence had died. You know, if she died in Days of Future Past, I might have cared. Because Jennifer Lawrence's character was fun and engaging and yada yada yada. But, you know, with Apocalypse, she's just, oh, she's the hero. And then in this one, she's just like, oh, I want to lead the X-Men because I'm the morally correct center of this movie. And, oh no, now I'm dead. Like, I don't care. And, like, Magneto has his people that live on the island with him, that come with him on that train fight, and each of them die too. But I'm just like, I don't care. I don't even know the name of those characters. Like, they're just there. They have 2 fights, and it's done. Like I was saying before, Scott's visor is just stupid. Quicksilver gets hurt in that first battle with Jean and is just a non-factor for the rest of the movie, which is stupid. Like, it's the best part of the First Class movies, or at least after the first one, is Quicksilver. Quicksilver's his running around when they're in the Pentagon, breaking Xavier out. Sorry, not Xavier, breaking Eric out. That's a great moment. That's a fun moment to watch. And in Apocalypse, when he saves everybody in the house, that's a crazy fun moment to watch. This one, you have a scene in the beginning on the spaceship when he saves some of the astronauts, and then you have the scene when they're facing Jean, and she pretty much just pulls something out from under him as he's trying to run up after her and just throws him aside, and suddenly, oh, nope, he's out for the rest of the movie. Don't get me wrong, he's running really, really fast, so that's probably why. But you take the most fun character out of the movie. Like, to me, that's just bad. And the screenwriting for this was atrocious. Like, it is, to me, the worst writing in an X-Men movie. And that includes X-Men Wolverine Origins. Like, this movie was just all around bad. You know, I expect some level of humor. Didn't get it. I expected fun action scenes. Didn't really get it. So, I mean, what do you have left in an X-Men movie? Like, fun and interesting powers? Probably. But we're still stuck with everybody that we had from Apocalypse. Nobody new in the key group happened. Like, Storm's there, but Storm was there in the last movie. She's just on the other side. Quicksilver's there for a little bit. Scott's there. Beast is there. Mystique's there for a little bit, but nothing fun. Like, one of the mutants that was on Magneto's side had hair, like braided hair, that could do what he wants. The other person just had mind powers like Xavier. It was boring. Like, I feel like it falls under the thing that The Last Stand falls under, where when you take the Phoenix Force to a character, that character becomes less interesting. You know, in the original X-Men movies, it takes Jean Grey, who was sort of unstable is not the right word, but she was human. She was a compassionate human being, and then it just turns into her, like, oh, I just kill. And then in this movie, it takes Jean Grey, who in the last movie and this movie was uncertain about herself, and then just makes her into a bad person whenever she uses it. Like, even in the end, when she's fighting, like, when she has full control of her powers, she's just disintegrating people, like, left and right. And yeah, they're bad guys, and don't get me wrong, the X-Men were doing the same thing, but there's never a time that she's really using her powers for good that doesn't involve killing someone. Which, I don't know, I think it might have been interesting, you know, trying to bring someone back or helping something. But those are my reviews on my double feature. It's been a bit of a long day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys see those movies. As bad as Dark Phoenix is, it's laughably bad to me. You know, it's not a movie that I absolutely despise having left it, but it's a movie I just go, I see all the things you did wrong, and I feel like 90% of the reasons were it was Fox losing the rights to the X-Men, and they were just like, why do we care what we're doing anymore? Why do we care about continuity? Why do we care about these characters? We don't. We're just going to put it out there and make some money off of people. And to be honest, no matter how much money they make off this movie, they're not getting the franchise back. So I say go watch it if you want to have a fun, bad movie night, you know. And John Wick, see if you want to have a fun movie night. But with that, I'm going to sign out. This is Flix. You know, if you like this, like and subscribe. And speak to you guys next time.